Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, September 13th, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Chair, do you have any opening remarks?
Good morning, everyone. I know there are some of you who are here regularly and know how this process works. For those of you who have not been here before, Mr. Owens, the Secretary to the Board, will call each case in order. If there are any issues with your case, if someone's not here, just let him know. We can second call you. If you have any reason that requires you to get out of here more quickly, not just because you'd like to, you can let us know that too. We may have the ability to move you up. The way we work it, he calls the case. The applicant will come up and sit here. Make sure you've signed in. Everyone in here should have signed in on a case. If you sign in, you will get a copy of the decision. If you've signed in on a case and it's called, then you're not the applicant. Come up. Also, when the case is called, sit over to this side of the table. Everyone who wishes to speak will get a chance to speak, the applicant first. Anyone else who's interested in the case will speak thereafter. And so I think that's, if you have any questions, you can ask them at the time your case is called. If you've never been here before, don't be nervous. It's not that hard. Go ahead, Patrick.
We have one case for adjournment. It's case 541-23, North Belmore. Azhar Islam request to modify the board's decision prohibiting the installation of a cellar entrance attached to dwelling with 2 full baths in cellar and 1 full bath on the first floor, also known as 1763 Erie Place.
Mr. Monasteri, please note your appearance for the record. Name and address.
Mark Anthony Monastery, 1563 Belmore Avenue, Belmore, New York.
Okay, this case was on for a modification?
Yes.
Okay, what do you need?
We need about 6 weeks to go over some things that we need to take care of inside the house.
Okay.
So I'm just going to postpone it a little bit.
The cellar entrance, it says installation. Is it in already?
It's all in, yes.
I thought so.
Yes.
Okay, we also, maybe we should change that to, Mr. Patrick, since it says installation of cellar, but it's actually, I guess, a request to maintain.
Maintain.
So maybe we change that. What do we have about 6 weeks out? Wait, there's no one else here on this case, right? Okay, what do we have 6 weeks out?
We could do November 15th at 11 o'clock.
Does that work, Mr. Munster?
Work, yes.
At 11. So since there's no one else here, I don't have to tell everyone that no further notice will go out, and we'll see you then, Mr. Munster.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Have a
it.
good day.
Okay. First, we have case 535-23, Belmore, Chamber of Commerce of the Belmores Incorporated, Amusement Rides, Special Event, duration September 21st, 2023 through September 24th, 2023, with tents. Rain dates October 19th, 2023 through October 22nd, 2023, also known as Town of Hempstead parking lots B2, B3, B6, and B7. Address for the record.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow. Appearing as the agent for the Belmore Chambers of Commerce special event we're requesting are we up? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So it'll be from Thursday, September 21st through Sunday, September 24th, 2023.
Deborah Izzo, 1867 Newbridge Road, Belmore, New York.
Morning.
So hours of operation, if approved, would be Thursday, the 21st, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday, September 22nd, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, the 23rd, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, the 24th, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., We have rain dates. What's been posted is one set of rain dates, but I was just notified that Merrick Chamber, if Belmore has to use their rain date, it may conflict with the Merrick Chamber, which is coming in another couple of weeks for a presentation. So I'm going to just use those as the technical side of this for October 19th and the 22nd through the 22nd is the first rain date. If by chance they can't do that because of another event being held at the same location, we would like to have the 26th of October through the 29th and just add that to the calendar so that we have a legal process to have the event.
We'll add that and we'll consider it in the decision.
Thank you. So all music will cease at 10 p.m. I submitted Town Board Resolution 851, 2023, indicating the approval for the use of the town parking lots. Location, Town Parking Lot B2, which would be the crafts that they do on Sunrise Highway and Bedford Avenue. Parking Lot B7, that they would use for handicap parking. Parking Lot B6, which is Bedford Avenue and Belmore Avenue, used for the children's rides. There will be, as per the documents we submitted, 18 rides, ample portable toilets on site, in addition to security and sanitation being provided by Blue Sky Amusement. And also Nassau County PD letter, which also has been submitted, which was dated September 7, 2023, that they've been notified and are okay with this event moving forward. Applications have been filed with General Services, Town Board, of course, with the TBR being issued, Building Department, Town Clerk's Office, and also the Nassau County Fire Marshal's Office for the use of the tents, which is required. And any food service will file with the Nassau County Board of Health. Town of Hempstead Sanitation has been notified for the dates that we propose. There will be no gambling or alcohol at this event. Prior to the event opening up, New York State Department of Labor inspects the rides for the event promoter to ensure that all the rides are in compliance with life safety standards. This is the 37th year, I think, 36th year, not counting on COVID being the 37th, but that's how many years that the Chambers of Commerce have been doing this in the town of Hempstead.
Thank you, Mr. Bavona. Did you wish to add anything to that?
Smart move.
If that's your case,
Yes.
do I have any questions or motions from the board?
I move that case 325-2023, the Chamber of Commerce of the Belmores Incorporated, be granted as requested with the alternative dates as stated.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a great celebration, Mr. Bavona.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Next, we have case 136423, Franklin Square, Kiwanis of Franklin Square. Amusement rides special event, duration September 14th, 2023 through September 17th, 2023, also known as Town of Hempstead Parking Lot FS3.
Gregory Cajus, 157 Hempstead Avenue, West Hempstead.
Deborah Izzo, 1867 Newbridge Road, Belmore, New York.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us what you want to have, celebration in Franklin Square?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're having this is our first annual carnival. We always do a street fair twice a year, but this is our first carnival. It's going to be from September 14th. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
It's okay.
September 14th to September 17th.
Okay.
We provided sanitation, 6 to help clean up. We also provided security. We also have porta potties. The hours of operation will be September 14th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Friday, Thursday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
10 to 11 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay. And will you be having music at the?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so any music, if it does change and you have music, the music needs to end at 10 o'clock, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, keep going.
This is a fundraiser for Franklin Square High School,
Okay.
and to help the community.
Do you
And
happen to know, do you happen to know how many rides you intend to have?
We're approximately 8 rides and game machines.
Okay,
And yeah, that's it. It's pretty small.
okay. Does anyone else have any questions related to this?
Just half a second.
So the times that,
No, wait, I'm sorry, ma'am.
the
Sorry,
ti-
sir.
the times that you actually submitted are different than the ones that you put on record.
Times?
Yes.
Oh, what did I'm sorry.
You had Thursday, 5 PM to 10 PM.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Friday, 5 to 11.
Yeah.
Saturday, 12 to 11, and Sunday, 12 to 5.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't have I left the
Okay.
paper. That's why, yes, that's the correct hours.
These
Yes,
are?
Yes.
Okay, wait, what did
Okay.
you say about on Sunday?
What is it?
Sunday is 12 to 5 PM.
So are you intending to end it at 5 on Sunday or 9?
Till 9, to 9. I apologize.
Okay, so let's just go through exactly what you
Yes.
want, and we'll fix the documents. So on Friday, you said 6 to 11, and that says, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Okay, we just need to get the paperwork right, okay? So, yeah, Patrick, yeah, that's perfect.
thanks.
So as we go through this, do you have a pen with you?
I have to change that. No, I didn't. He's
Okay.
asking 12.
So as we go through this, let's just correct them on there. So take your time. Okay, so Thursday,
Yes,
what time
5.
do you want to do it?
5 to 10 p.m.
Okay, make sure it's correct
Yes.
on there. Okay,
Friday, 5 to 11 p.m. Saturday, that's here, 12 to 11 p.m.
okay,
And Sunday, 12 to 10 p.m.
12 to 9.
Oh, 12 to 9, I mean.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's make that.
Okay,
Now we
yes.
have them all, and
Yes.
initial your changes there for
Okay.
us. Okay, all right, so now, with that said, you provide us all the information. Do I have any other questions or motions from the board?
I move that case number 1364, 2023 be granted as requested, subject to the normal conditions that we give for carnivals.
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, have a very nice start to a,
Thank you,
hopefully an
sorry.
annual celebration and fundraiser.
Thank you.
You got it. Have a nice day.
Next, we have case number 536-23, East Atlantic Beach, Margaret Ann Feiss and Michaela Gibbons, renewal of grant to maintain 7-foot 4-inch high vinyl fence west side of Brookline Avenue, 260 feet north of Beach Street, AKA 73 Brookline Avenue. There's an application for an appearance waiver.
Okay, there being no one here interested or in opposition, the board will grant the application for an appearance waiver. The building department inspected the premises on 7/7/23 and found the applicant to be in compliance with all the conditions previously imposed by the board. Do I have a motion?
I move that the case be closed and then put on the decision calendar.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case number 4. It's 537 of 23 through 539 of 23, Wantaw, Cameron Gill. A variance, lot area occupied, construct 2-story addition attached to dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure, shed higher than permitted, and with lot area occupied variance, special exception to construct 2nd-story accessory structure, shed higher than permitted, and with lot area occupied variance. North side of Duck Pond Drive, south, 386 feet east of Dahlia Lane, AKA 305 Duck Pond Drive, south. Okay. Can you state your name and address for the record, please? Oh, I'm sorry, actually, I apologize. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? State your name and address for the record, please.
You can all be seated if you'd like to.
Ms. Reed, if you're going to testify, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn? That's okay. It's your first time here.
Just swear her in.
Okay.
It's
Do you
okay.
swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can have a seat. And your name and address for the record, please.
So we're going to need to pass around the microphone, I guess, so that the court reporter can hear when you give your name and address for the record. So maybe let's just start on this side. Yeah.
Sorry. Linda Reed, 303 Duck Pond Drive South, Wantagh, New York.
Thank you.
Paul Lombardo, the architect, 3939 New York Avenue, Seaford, New York.
Thank you.
Maria Coker, 305 Duck Pond Drive South, Wantagh.
Cameron Gill, 305 Duck Pond Drive South, Wantagh, New York.
Thank you. Okay, I take it, Mr. Lombardo, you're going to present the case?
Okay, as the architect, Mr. and Mrs. Gill came to me wanting to improve their property, to expand their property. They're doing a second floor addition. The second floor addition involves a two-story rear addition in the center of the home. The square footages are on the site plan.
Mr. Lombardo, so you have a request for a second-story addition and a two-story addition. So there is a portion that's outside the footprint, and there's a portion that's in. I take it the part you're talking about is the second-story addition, which is in the middle of the home. Okay, so just
Yeah, that's correct.
address them each.
Yeah, the final outcome will be a two-story home. Within that two-story, there's actually a portion outside the footprint, as you said, that's 2 stories.
I understand.
Yep. So, it also involves the relocation of one smaller shed and then a construction of a second shed for storage.
Okay, and both sheds need lot area occupied, and both are higher than allowable. As you know, 9 feet is allowed. What's the height of each shed?
The height of the relocated existing shed,
Which one is the relocated?
that's shed 1, that'd be located, that's shown on the plot plan,
I see,
not hatched shed in the rear of the property.
I see.
That's 9-foot required height, proposed height is 9'3". And then the other shed in the other corner, the opposite corner, that's a required height of 9 foot. The proposed height is 12 foot. They need something a little taller.
Okay. And then you're asking for lot area occupied on the property in general being, and that's triggered by all 3 of your proposals?
Yes.
4 of your proposals, if you call them 4. What is you're in a Residence B zone, I assume? So you're allowed to have 27.5% of lot area occupied. What do you propose?
We are
Oh, wait a minute, I stand corrected. You're in the LPRD.
LPRD,
So you're
correct.
allowed 30%. So what do you propose?
We propose, the lot coverage is 37%.
Okay, and that is an increase. Do you know what you were at before this proposal? I don't see it on the chart. That's okay if you don't know.
I don't see it.
Okay, and other than lot area occupied and the height of the 2 sheds, you don't seek any other variances, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Does anyone else wish to speak, or is that your case?
Yes.
Okay, is everyone else fine with that? Oh, it looks like,
I just may say, I live right next door. They are wonderful neighbors, and they really need this.
thank you for coming and participating. Okay, do I have any other questions from the board?
This is a typical Levitt house with no basement, correct?
That's correct.
And
Slab on
therefore,
grade.
that's kind of like the need for the sheds.
Absolutely. They have lawn furniture, whatnot they want.
Okay, do I have any other questions from the board?
Matter placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in will be notified by mail of the board's decision once done.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a nice day, folks.
Thank you very much.
You got it, buddy.
Here, go, Donnie.
Next, we have case 54023, West Hempstead, Cali, Orenbuck. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct two-story additions attached to dwelling, demolish enclosed porch, also known as 699 Wildwood Road.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Good morning, Mr. Shear.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Tell us your case.
Here representing Cali Orenbach on their application for an addition to their home for lot area, the variances for lot area occupied and side yard aggregate. The side yard aggregate is not going to exceed, we're actually just going in line with the same side yard aggregate, which is 15 foot 10, and it's required by new code at 17 foot 7, but we're following the same side yards on both the left and the right side. The lot area occupied is currently at 33.7. With the demolition of the porch and the new addition, we're going to from 33.7 to 34.1. That is the case, and it's very consistent with the area.
Okay.
Does this house have a basement?
Yes, it does.
We don't have basement plans.
It's an empty basement. I have it on, you sure you don't have a basement plan?
I don't see it. Maybe we do, but it's not
Hold on.
immediately visible.
They're not stapled. so
I have
they-
it on A1.
Yeah, we don't actually
We don't
have
have an
any.
A1.
Wait, check here. They're not connected, so maybe it's here. Maybe, you know what, I better just didn't get pulled out of the file.
Have you been in the basement?
I have been in the basement, yes.
And what's in the basement?
It's empty, concrete walls,
No plumbing other than the boiler?
other than the washer, dryer, and boiler.
Heating equipment? Any outside exterior basement entrance?
No, we're just proposing a egress, that's all.
An
A
egress?
regular egress window,
Hold on here.
future on the side of the house,
Near the air conditioning units?
the opposite side of the air conditioning units.
Mr. Shear, I don't see A1, so.
I have
Could
it,
you
I'm
just-
happy to,
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll accept that into evidence.
yeah, that's
Richard.
fine.
All right, that just makes sure the file's complete.
I also don't see the egress window here on the plot plan. No, because
Is the egress window there or proposed, Mr. Shear?
It's proposed.
But
Yeah,
it's an as of right? I
It's
take it.
yes, it's going to be on grade level, so,
On grade level.
well, I mean, the window is going to be less than 8 inches above grade.
I don't know if, does the building department accept that as a permitted encroachment
they
in
have
the
been-
side
I have
yard?
not had a problem in the past, yes,
Even though it's diminished the side yard and
Correct.
access to the side yard?
right, because you could still walk on it over, on a covering, they could still walk over a covering.
Like none of it protrudes above, like, is it just a well?
It's a well, right.
Are there any other questions from the board?
I move the,
move-
go ahead, miss.
I move the hearing be closed, the case be placed on the board's decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified by mail.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Round two?
Round two, sorry.
Next, we have case 54223, West Hempstead, Jonathan and Shira Zwerin. Variances, lot area occupied, rear yard, construct two-story addition attached to dwelling, demolish existing garage, also known as 327 Wilson Street.
Shira Zwerin, 327 Wilson Street, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good morning again.
Mr. Chair again.
I'm here with Mrs. Zwerin, and we're requesting a variances for lot area occupied and rear yard variance. The current rear yard, which is its corner property, so the current rear yard is at 9 foot 8 inches, and we are actually doing an addition which will not exceed the 9 foot 8. The addition is only going to be 15 foot, will be a 15-foot rear yard, so we're not exceeding the variance that's currently there. And the current lot coverage that we're proposing from Residence B 27.5, which is allowed, is going to be 30%. That includes the open porch in the front.
30%?
Is it demolishing the garage?
There is a garage, a two-car garage that we're demolishing that is going to be in place. We're going to put this addition in place of that.
So wait, yeah, so, what were you at before the demolition of the garage?
What are we adding?
No, what would, if you know the lot area occupied before the proposal, with the garage?
I think it is, it's superimposed, right?
I can,
I was just wondering about the change.
Okay.
Anyway, net, you're going up to 30.
we're going up to 30, yeah.
Does this house have a basement?
Yes, it does.
Have you been in it?
And is the addition going to have a basement?
It will have a basement, yes.
And do you have basement plans that we could look at?
I do have a basement plan on sheet A1.
Yeah, we're lacking A1 on this one, too.
Okay, I do have an A1, I apologize, I
okay.
found
Okay.
it.
It's going to be a large recreation room
A new bath
And a new bathroom.
and a new bathroom, correct, and a bathroom, right? There is not one there now. There is no bathroom there now, right? They're proposing a bathroom.
Sure, is a bathroom in the cellar as of right?
Yeah, yes,
Provided you don't need other variances, like,
correct, yes.
do I have any other questions from the board?
We actually have, we have letters from two neighbors that I could submit that they're, directly next door and across the street, so I'm happy to submit those.
Okay, we'll accept those into evidence.
Did you tell us the need for the addition?
They are adding bedrooms. On the first floor, it's a master bedroom. On the second floor, they're adding 3 bedrooms. Yes.
So how many bedrooms in the house total,
Do you know how many of those total?
if it's approved?
Right. The second floor, the existing cape is remaining on the left side of the house, I could tell you. Be 1, 2, 3, 4 on the second floor, and 1 on the first floor.
5 bedrooms.
Right.
Any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Round 3, Mr. Shear, or shall we say goodbye for now?
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for the warning.
Next, we have case 54323, Levittown, Francis Za. Variances, side yards aggregate, construct addition attaching garage to dwelling, second-story addition and portico all attached to dwelling, also known as 60 Sycamore Lane.
I do. Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Good morning, Ms. Pangallo.
Good morning. I'm representing Francis Za of 60 Sycamore Lane in Levittown. The property is located in the LPRD district on the south side of Sycamore Lane, 220 feet west of Hemlock Lane. We're requesting a variance to construct a one-story addition attaching the garage to the dwelling and a second-story addition and portico, all attached to the dwelling.
And the second-story addition, my calendar just doesn't say maintain or construct. That's also construct.
That's correct. By adding the one-story addition and attaching the detached garage to the home, a variance is required for the side yard and side yard aggregate. The side yard required is 5 feet, and the side yard proposed is 2 feet 2 inches. 2.2, I'm sorry. The side yard aggregate required with a garage is 12 feet, and the side yard aggregate proposed is 9.8 feet. The first floor will increase the size of the kitchen and add a mudroom, and the second floor will be 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a laundry room.
Ms. Pangallo?
Yes.
12 on the side yard?
With a
Aggregate?
garage, they said it was 12.
On the aggregate?
Yeah, they said if it was living space, it was 15, but with a garage, it's 12.
I've
But
never
but
heard
it
that
is
in
going to
18
be,
years.
it is going to be converted to living.
No, the garage is remaining a garage.
Oh, I misunderstood that.
The addition is attaching the house and the garage.
Wait, thing that everyone does in the LPRD.
Right, exactly. Mrs. Zoss started this project in 2020 with her husband to give them and their 2 teenage children more living space. Unfortunately, he passed away during COVID, from COVID, and she would like to continue to create the home for the family that he wanted, and we're respectfully asking the board to grant this variance.
So the garage will remain a garage?
Yes, that's
You agree to
correct.
that condition?
Yes.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Thank you
Second.
very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case 544 of 23, Oceanside, Scott and Michelle Pasucci. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, construct addition and roofed over open porch, both attached to dwelling, also known as 3143 Trinity Street. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Please sit down and state your name and address for the record, please.
Dominic Minerva, Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant.
Scott Pascucci, 3143 Trinity Street, Oceanside, New York.
Good morning, Michelle Pascucci, 3143 Trinity Street in Oceanside, New York.
The application before you today is for area variances to construct a front addition with roofed-over open porch to an existing dwelling. Subject premises is known as 3143 Trinity Street in Oceanside. It's also known as Section 43, Block 374, and Tax Lot 168. It's in a Residence B district. The owners propose to construct a front addition with a foyer, coat closet, and half-bath powder room, along with a roofed-over entry porch. The variances required are for lot area, with 27.5% required and 35.9% provided. I would note, though, that the existing lot coverage is 33.8%, so the front addition results in a minor increase of 2.1% in lot coverage. I would also note they have a large first-floor deck. If you did not count the first-floor deck, even with the proposed addition, the lot coverage is 26.4% for the house, which would be compliant.
But what did you say the existing lot area occupied is?
33.8.
And how did it get to that from 27 or 30 when it was?
So right now it's 33.8.
How did it get to that number?
That's the existing house and the deck.
Do they already have a variance?
I do.
For the deck?
Okay. I do not have that information.
Okay.
Do not know if there's do you know if there's a variance for the deck? Not that they recall.
Okay.
Okay, they purchased the house that way. They do
How-
not recall if there was a variance for the deck.
How long ago was the house purchased?
2012.
And you had no additions since then? You see, my purpose is, at that time, 2012, I think it was 27% lot area occupied. Previous to that, it was 30%. So my question was, how did it get from 30% to 33% if it didn't have a variance? So apparently something was constructed in there before you bought it.
I'm just going to check
Raise
if I
it
have a
up.
search sheet here. Hold on.
I'm going to guess.
I have a search sheet. Let me just see.
Okay.
Because it's 20, it's
Okay.
under the 27 and a half without
Okay,
the
yes,
deck,
and-
right?
In
Probably they added the deck.
2012, there was an application to maintain a rear addition, second-story addition, finished cellar, and relocation of AC units. So there was an application
Now, this says it was a building permit, and it's now closed from 2012 for an addition. So I assume that was addressed at that time.
Wait, do you think it was a permit?
Oh, here we go. 2012 maintain rear wood deck. Yes, application 2012-01376, and that's a closed permit.
Okay.
That answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board? Oh, you have more to say?
I just
I mean,
want to address the other variances for front yard setback, with 25.2 feet being the average front yard setback and 16.67 feet proposed to the front addition. Also, the porch is 14.67 feet with 19.2 feet required, but the front addition is only along part of the front facade, and the remainder of the residence is at 24.1 feet, substantially in keeping with the average. This is being done in connection with interior and exterior renovations to the dwelling. The Pascucci's, who have lived there since 2012, are looking to modernize their house, have an open floor plan, and improve the appearance. I do have a petition signed by the neighbor directly across the street and on both sides consenting to it, along with a marked-up radius map of where those people are, and a list of similar variances in the area that were granted by this board.
we'll accept all three of those into evidence.
Lastly, I'll note that we believe the applications in keeping with captured area will not be detrimental and will only be an improvement, and we request your favorable consideration.
Is the porch in the front open porch?
Yes.
Will it
The
remain?
proposed
Proposed, yes.
is a roofed-over open porch and will remain open, and then the front addition, one-story addition, is enclosed.
And all the variances you're requesting are solely for that little portico porch?
All the
change?
variances relate to the front
section, right.
one-story addition and the open porch.
And just for the record, the other alterations that you mentioned are not before this board. Those are as-of-right alterations.
Correct.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? Oh, wait, and that's your case, right, Mr.?
Yes, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case be placed on the board's decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, all parties who have signed in today will be notified by mail.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Have a nice day, Mr. Minerva, or are you up again?
Nope,
All
thank
right.
you.
Have a nice day, folks.
I'll see you this afternoon.
Next, we have case 54523 Oceanside, Matt and Gina Necht. Variances, height, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, construct second-story addition, roofed over open porch and garage converted to living space, all attached to dwelling, also known as 112 DeCosta Avenue. Raise your right hand. You swear to affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please have a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Clifton. I'm the architect of record on the project. Gina Necht and her two children have lived at the above the rest for the last approximately just over 5 years. Gina was born in Oceanside, and now she would like to expand the house at 112 DeCosta Avenue with a second-story addition. There are 3 variances that are required. The first variance is to be constructed, the addition to be constructed within the average front yard setback, which is currently 38.36 feet. The house was originally constructed 31 feet from DeCosta Avenue. We are requesting a reduction of that to 29 feet. The difference, the 38.38 is, I think, has to do with more than the fact that down the block, the lots are very deep, and a number of people have torn down the original construction and constructed new houses further back, and that changed the average front yard setback for everybody. The second variance involves side yard and side yard aggregate. This is triggered by the fact that an existing attached garage is to be converted to habitable space, which changes from, as we had in a previous case, changes the required setbacks from 12 feet to 15 feet. And so the side yard aggregate now is 15 feet, which we are not in compliance with.
Who's on that setback?
5.1 on one side, and I'm old, and I forgot the other one.
Okay, hold on. So it looks like 5.1 and 9.6, which yields an aggregate of 14.7. Not sure why you need side yard then. Side yard aggregate is required 15, you propose 14.7, I understand that. But,
Well, I would require 10 on the other side, on the garage side.
but that affects the aggregate.
But I'm only 9.6 or 9.7. So
Or you
that's how
only
you,
need it for the one side.
yes. The 5.1 is acceptable.
Okay, so that covers those two. Now,
And the last one was the building height. Permitted is 30 feet. We are requesting 30 feet, 6 inches. And the reason for that is to allow 5 feet under the underside of the attic ceiling to allow easier access, and also it allows me to increase the pitch of the roof so it falls more in line with the other houses on the block.
just trying to figure out, usually a two-story house doesn't need a height variance.
The attic is going to be 5 foot?
Yes.
Is that to the peak?
No, that's to the ceiling joist. There is a ceiling, well, there's ceiling ties.
Right.
I don't see any,
It's in the section, I believe A07.
I'm just trying to find the numbers here. So grade
No, actually,
grade is at 7?
no, the problem we have is that in the town of Hempstead, we use center line of street,
Right.
which if you look at the left side of that drawing, you'll see the center line of the street elevation.
Wait, hold on. I see the grade elevation, I see the finished first floor.
You'll see a center line of street elevation.
Oh, that's that, the C is, I see, it's under the, so crown is at 8.96.
Right.
It's higher than grade.
And you'll go up to the top, it'll show you the permitted, which is 30 feet higher.
38.96.
And then I believe there's a mistake, there's a typo, which is the proposed run, which is actually only 6 inches.
Wait, I thought you said the proposed was 30 feet 6 inches.
Yeah, 30 feet 6 inches.
From crown.
From the crown, that's
And
correct.
that's what it says here.
Yes.
So where's the typo?
The typo is if you look at the absolute top, the actual number, the actual elevation number is typed at, I believe, 33.9 is some ridiculous number.
I don't have a 33 on the one I'm looking at. It shows the, on the left side where you did the measurements with crown and stuff like that, where you were doing the elevation, actual elevation, it shows the max permitted actual elevation 38.96, which is accurate.
And then the
And
number
then
above that?
above that, it says proposed building height 39.46, but it says that because it's using elevation numbers instead of
Oh,
from
all
the
right, okay.
crown numbers, right?
Okay,
Okay. All right, so it's a 6-inch height variance, and this height doesn't exist now,
that's correct. It's a two-story, it's a second-story addition
correct?
over the existing house.
Okay, the whole house is only for a single story right now?
That's correct.
Okay, and the justification, again, as I'm sure you know as an architect, we rarely have a height variance request, even when the crown's at 8. We rarely end up with a height variance request for a 2-story.
I found
know you
that a
mentioned-
little bit odd also, and when I was doing my calculations, in fact,
Right, it doesn't make sense,
Dennis
right?
Dennis Dunn asked me the same thing. He goes, why would we need it? For some reason, the numbers just work out that way.
Yeah,
And it's only 6 inches, so I figured
Yeah,
I'd just
but
apply for it.
If crown and grade are only about a foot apart, so if we put together, finished first floor is at,
Well, now, crown and adjacent grain is a little bit different.
wait, I thought it was, hold on. This, they're on opposite sides of your diagram, but Crown is 8.96. It's hard to see what grade doesn't have a number on it, but they don't look too far off, a foot or two. And like, then 8 and 8, 2 8-foot sections for 2 floors, a roof,
Yeah,
usually doesn't get to that number.
The proposal still does, well, what
Yeah, but
happens
you
is
did
on
mention
these
that-
houses,
Go ahead.
on these houses, sometimes, well, in this case, we did not add a second floor structure. So yes, I don't quite understand.
Well, you might want to add that if you're putting a second floor on there.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that, it's what's referred to as jumping the box, in which case they'll add a completely new structure for the second floor. In this case, we didn't even do that. So I could not tell you how the numbers got to where they are, but
I mean, you do have an 8-12 pitch, so that does add
that
something.
could add to it. But I'm still only coming up with a ceiling height on the attic of like 5 feet.
I don't.
So I may not even need it, but
All right,
Dennis wanted me
well,
to go for it, so.
It's relatively de minimis. So are there any other questions from the board?
Yes.
Is that your case?
Do you have, is there a pool on the property?
Is there a pool? There was a pool on the property, it's long gone.
Is it above ground?
It was long gone. It was above ground, and it was long gone.
Okay, thank you.
There was an existing fence on the property. That's been legalized as well. Everything else has been brought up to date.
Is that your case?
That's it.
Are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified. Thank you.
Second? All in favor? Have a
Thank you,
nice day,
ladies
sir.
and gentlemen. Have a great day.
You too.
Next, we have case number 546 of 23, Levittown. Kessia Balmaceda and Eduardo Julio Balmaceda Duarte. Immediate family res, second kitchen. Also known as 599 Parker Avenue. Please raise your right stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Do. Please have a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Good morning.
Kessia Balmaceda, 599 Parker Avenue, Levittown, New York, 11756.
Hold on, did you get that? Stephanie, could you hear it?
Eduardo Balmaceda, 599 Parker Avenue, Levittown, New York, 11756.
Good morning.
I'm representing Keisha Balmesigo and Eduardo Julia Balmesigo Durante of 599 Parker Avenue in Levittown. The property is located on the northwest corner of Parker Avenue and Whittier Avenue. We're
Ms.
requesting...
Bangallo?
Yes.
Any chance at least one of the other occupants is present?
No, her sister was working and she couldn't get off from work.
What about Ivan?
The nephew, yeah. They're both working. I explained to her that they should be here. If we needed to adjourn it for a time when they can be here, we will do that. It's whatever the board...
Do we have the licenses?
Yes,
submitted?
we have the licenses with their addresses.
Yeah, they've been submitted already, I take it?
Yes, it should be on record.
Go ahead.
Okay. In the primary residence is Keisha, Eduardo, both owners of the property, and their daughter, Denaria, age 16, and their son, Dario, age 10. In the secondary unit is Zola Arguento, age 55, which is the sister to Keisha, and her son, Ivan Zarante, which is Keisha's nephew, age 26. There are 4 cars parked at the home with room for 3 off-street parking. They are aware that the home must maintain the appearance of a one-family home with 1 doorbell, 1 mailbox, and 1 electric meter. They also have been made aware that if this variance is granted, it only pertains to them, and if title or circumstances change, the second kitchen must be removed by a licensed plumber, and a plumbing permit for the removal must be filed as well. There are several applications and open permits that are open, and we'll be closing them all out as well.
Okay. As you know, Ms. Pangallo, anytime we have an immediate family or mother-daughter application, Board of Architectural Review reviews the plans to determine whether or not the dwelling is suitable to be used as such, and whether or not it's suitable to be reverted back to a single-family dwelling at the cessation of the use. In this case, the Board of Architectural Review found that it is in fact suitable for such a use, and it is properly reverted to a single-family use at the time of the cessation of such use. It does note, however, that there will be no illegal occupancy in the cellar. Have you been in the cellar, Ms. Pengal?
Yes.
And what is there?
There's a bathroom, a recreation room, there's an outside entrance, and that is it. There was actually a permit for a fireplace in the basement, but it's no longer there.
Okay. And did you advise your clients as to what an illegal use of the basement is?
Yes, no kitchen, no sleeping, no cooking.
And I think you said you've advised them about the fact that on transfer, it doesn't go with the next family has to come in and apply for such use and do all the things your clients do.
Yes, and also that it must be renewed.
Yes, it's renewable every 3 years, I believe. Yeah, that's right, it's not renewed, it's just reviewed every 3 years. So, okay, are there any other questions? Is that your case, Ms. Bengala?
Yes.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case be placed on the board's decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, all parties who have signed in today will be notified by mail.
Thank you very much.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Have a nice day, folks.
Next, we have case 54723, Atlantic Beach, Fred Nader. Variance side yard, installed generator on raised platform attached to dwelling, also known as 1270 Maricourt.
Lisa Koshia with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791.
Good morning, Ms. Kachia. Someone else signed in on the case. They didn't put, Mr. Silverstein? Oh, okay, Dr. Silverstein. You want to just sit there until it's your turn to speak? Okay, since Ms. Kachia took the wrong side. Okay, Ms. Kachia,
Sorry
go ahead,
about
tell
that.
us about your case.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the board. I'm here representing Mr. Natter, who is proposing to install a generator. This property is located in a Residence B zone. The proposed generator will have a 4.4-foot side yard setback where the required is 5 feet. The Natter family would like to have the generator that in the event of an emergency, they will have power to their home. We do have a consent letter that we received yesterday from a neighbor at 1280 Mara Court, which I'd like to submit into evidence if I
We'll
could.
accept that into evidence. Ms. Kachia, what's the name on that letter so I can find them on the radius map?
The name is Guy Mangano and Maria Fasudo. They're at 1280, so it's
I see them.
2 houses west of the property.
I see them. Okay, go
Mr.
ahead.
Natter respectfully requests your approval.
And for this proposal, you need a side yard. If you said it already, I apologize. What do you propose?
That's okay. It's going to have a 4.4-foot side yard setback where the required is 5 feet.
Okay. And is that your case? We'll reserve time for you if you wish to rebut.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Silverstein, you want to come up? Dr. Silverstein, I apologize.
Dr. Stephen Silverstein, 1264 Mara Court.
Good morning, Mr. Silverstein.
Good morning.
You live in Merrick or you live here?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I thought you said Merrick in your address. But
Mara, M-A-R-A, Mara Court.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Go ahead.
Forgive me. I'm a semi-retired senior citizen, healthcare professional, veteran, and, excuse me, on 2 separate occasions, president of the Atlantic Beach Estates Civic Association. I am spending more time in my home now than I ever have before. I respectfully ask you not to grant this variance. Rules are created for a reason. I reside just east and adjacent to the house in question, and safety is my concern. On page 69 of the current issue of Popular Mechanics, very coincidentally, there is a reference to why generators should be located at least 20 feet away from the residence. My concern is this generator is not even 20 feet away from my residence. I believe this is consistent with the town's regulations. The walls of our homes facing each other represent a corridor. The presence of this generator in the corridor and the noise it makes and the vibrations it makes will rebound against the walls, accelerating the noise, intensifying the noise, as well as the vibrations in the ground. In the event of a power failure, if the power failure is not midwinter where it's ice cold outside, it is possible for me to stay in my home with the windows open and survive, as I did in when we lost power with Hurricane Sandy. With this generator operating 24/7, given the noise, given the exhaust, given the potential fire hazard, although low, it's still a potential, I really think that this should not be granted. I fear that, the presence of this generator will devalue my home in the case that I decide to sell the home at some point, especially, if the people become aware of it. 2 weeks ago, on September 1st, I was approached by Mr. Natter. He asked my position on this generator, and I told him, for the reasons I just mentioned, why I was opposed. His answer to me was another location would cost him, and I quote, $15,000 to accomplish that. I cannot be sympathetic to that. He did his deck, a year or so ago, he did various things which might have made it a little easier. I don't understand why I need to sacrifice certain creature comforts as well as potential health issues.
Did he happen to say what the 15,000, was it wiring, or what?
I would
How did that increase it by 15,000?
I would presume so, the fact that the
He didn't
channel...
say.
He didn't say. So I implore you to please not grant this variance. I would like to stay in my home.
Thank you. You can stay there. Ms. Kachia, I must say, it does look like it would be better suited in the rear of the house. There's sufficient room. It wouldn't likely require a variance. Is there a reason why your client wants to put it on the narrowest piece of his land near this gentleman's, near the property line with this gentleman?
So the cost-effective piece of this is that in order for it to be hooked up to the gas line, it would cost extra. I'm not aware of how much extra, if 15,000 is the accurate number, but my client had said it would be significantly higher based on the estimates he received if he were to move the generator further or to the other side of the home, for argument's sake, where there's more room.
Wow, because, if it just slid to the back and around the corner a little, that would seem like the logical place for it, the place that the code envisions. It's unfortunate it would cost more. I don't know where the deck is. There's a deck on the property? Where is the deck? It's not on the diagram. Oh, we don't have the deck on the site plan. That is one large deck. We're gonna have to put the deck on the site plan too, at some point. Let me give you.
Is it a raised deck?
Honestly, I'm not sure. It's a proposed, so I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, the deck's not proposed, it's existing.
No, the generator.
No, I'm saying, so you don't know anything about the deck?
No, I don't.
Actually, never mind, because we're gonna,
If I
it's not
may.
even on this one. It's not on
I
this
do
one.
believe there was also a letter sent in by his neighbor on the opposite side, Karen Baruch,
Never mind, because it's not on here.
objecting to the generator. At least that's what she advised me.
Ms. Kachia, at the conclusion of this, subsequent to the hearing, you're going to need to at least get this corrected to show the deck, because it is a significant piece of the puzzle. That being said, is there anything else you wish to add? Okay, Mr. Silverstein? Okay. Do I have any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, matter placed on the decision calendar. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, as you heard, Ms. Perry, you'll both get copies of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you, and both of you have a nice day.
Next, we have case 54823, Baldwin, Heather McGowan. Variance lot area occupied, proposed second-story deck with stairs, also known as 660 Stratford Road.
Good morning. I'm Monty Leeper, architect, located at 414 Foxhurst Road in Oceanside.
Heather McGowan, 660 Stratford Road, Baldwin, New York, 11510.
Junior D. Graham, 776 Grand Terrace Avenue, North Baldwin, New York, 11510. Hi.
Thank you. Heather McGowan and Junior Graham, residing at 660 Stratford Road in Baldwin, a 60 feet wide property in Zone Residential B, are requesting a lot area variance from the zoning code that requires, in this case, a maximum lot area of 27.5% of the total yard area, where this case, the second floor deck will create lot coverage of 28.3% or 1.92% over the maximum lot coverage allowed. The proposed work is to renovate and add to the existing second story of this 1.5-story home, adding a second story sun deck facing south with stairs for egress to the rear yard. This allows for Heather and Junior to enjoy the rear yard in the early mornings and end of the day outside of their new second floor bedroom, with the ability to escape in an emergency to the ground level. The couple has one son who lives with them on the first floor, and there will continue to be one more bedroom to be used as a den and guest room. The home is currently a 2-bedroom home and will become a 3-bedroom home. The front of the home retains the 1.5-story appearance, with only the addition of a weather protective roof at the front door over the existing entry terrace.
Mr. Leeper, but the only thing before us is the deck, right?
That's correct.
And those other alterations, those are as of right.
That's correct. I stated that because the announcement for the case says that there's a second-story addition.
No,
There's an addition to the second story.
Lot area occupied, proposed second-story deck with stairs.
Okay.
That's what it reads.
Very good.
Okay, and so the only variance you request is less than 2% on lot area occupied?
Less than 2%, 1.92%.
Okay. Is that your case, Mr.
That's our
Leeper?
case.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board?
Closed, matter placed on the decision calendar. You will all be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
I-
Oh, that's okay. What would you like, Mr.
There were two neighbors' letters of notification that I wanted to submit.
I move that we reopen the case for the submission.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Leeper, we'll take those into evidence. Do I have a motion?
I move that the case be closed and then put on the decision calendar. You'll be notified when the board renders its decision.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day, folks.
Second. Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I can't figure out if
I know.
what's right.
Next, we have case 54923, West Hempstead, Norman and Deborah Cooper.
Pardon me,
Variances.
Mr. Owen. Instead of that, let's
sorry, I
take a
apologize.
quick recess so the court reporter can rest her hands and whatever else she needs to do. We'll be back in no more than 10 minutes. Sorry, Mr. Shear. I forgot about the court reporter for a moment. Sorry, Mr. Oakley, I forgot. I know he just informed me of that. And that's when I said, oh, I was waiting for you to take the break.
Say it again, sir?
549. Next, we have case 54923, West Hempstead, Norman and Deborah Cooper. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, construct second-story addition, vestibule and roofed over open porch, all attached dwelling, demolish rear enclosed porch, also known as 627 Colonnade Road. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. State your name and address for the record.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good morning again.
Good morning, Mr. Shear, again.
Good morning. I am here representing the Coopers to have proposed, in addition to their home, for two variances. The first is a front yard average setback. The required is 25 feet 1 inches. We are proposing 23 foot 6 inches to a small front vestibule, and the rest of the house will be at the 25 feet. The second variance is lot area occupied. In the Residence B is allowed 27.5%. We have a porch that is included in the 31.5% proposed. Without the porch, it is actually 28.2%, and that is the two variances that we're requesting.
Did you do aggregate? Side yard aggregate?
I
I have lot area occupied, front yard, average, side yard.
Oh, side yard aggregate. Okay, great. So yes, side yard aggregate is 16 foot 3. Is what we are required, and we have 15 foot 9 inches, which is not changing. It's existing and not changing.
It's going on the same footprint.
Same footprint, correct.
And the ordinance changed because it's 65 feet.
Yeah. And that is all.
Thank you. What is this?
Exterior stairs. So the basement is a finished basement apparently with plumbing, et cetera, in there?
There is, it's very partially finished. It's not, haven't been there in 3 years, I apologize, but the side of the basement that has the existing stairs is not finished. It goes into a boiler room and is definitely not finished. Is the other side finished? I don't recall offhand, I'm not sure. But it's one big open room if it's not. There's no bathroom down there, there's nothing, there's no bedrooms, nothing down there.
And the interior staircase to the basement, is there a door at the top of it? I assume there is.
There's a door at the bottom in the basement.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we ask you to go back and verify the basement? Because there's no permits for a finished basement.
I could check if I have photos and I could just check if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Wait, if you haven't been there, how'd you get the photos?
No, I haven't been there in like 3 years. It's the job is from 2020, so I haven't been there.
So the photos
I
are
was
from
there.
3 years ago.
Yes.
All right, let's see what you got.
It's not gonna do anything anyway.
So if the basement is, the half of the basement that is the washer, dryer, and boiler is unfinished, completely unfinished, and the other side has paneling probably from the 1970s. Right, right. Right. It was not on the other side, that's incorrect. I think I thought I thought it was, but it was not. It's really on that side, because that's where the chimney is. It's incorrect, right? That's an oil tank. I think they were switching from oil to gas. I think that was where the oil tank is. Right, so it's going to be removed. They're switching from oil to gas, so they're removing the oil tank. Sure. I apologize, absolutely. Right, okay, right.
That brings up a good point also. Open building, open plumbing permits. Install a gas boiler, gas water heater, and gas stove. Has that, March 8th, 2023, the search is, did they do that work?
So I don't want to say if they did or not, but if they did.
You don't want to tell us?
No, I don't know, because it's too recent and I haven't been there and asked them about it. So I believe that if it's an open building permit, I'm assuming that the work was done and they're just working to close it out, but obviously with all this work, we'll take care of the open permit.
I don't like the idea of a gas service that's not inspected or closed out.
Right, I mean, I'm assuming if they pulled the permit for it, they're doing it the proper way, they're gonna close it out the proper way.
It's been a long time.
Right.
What should we do?
I mean, I will definitely speak to them about closing it out. Hopefully, it's just a matter of an inspection and have it taken care of.
Yeah,
So.
Mr. Pellegrini's right. You're right, we do assume everyone's doing it the proper way, but,
They went through the effort to pull the permit.
Safety's important. I
Right,
know, it's
yeah.
not even about.
Right.
Also, I don't think you said, and just for clarification, the staircase, that's the exterior, that is an existing staircase, right?
It's an existing staircase, right.
Do I have any other questions from the board?
What are we gonna do with the basement? Is it gonna submit a plan for the basement and re-inspect it?
Yes?
It's
Mr. Shear,
Yes.
we would like to ask you to, what we'll do is close the case. We'll put it on the reserve calendar. And if you could visit the house and then just sign, come back, sign and date the site plan to confirm it's still accurate as to what's in the basement,
Sure.
then we'll decide the case. It shouldn't hold you up.
No, that's fine. I'll
I mean,
do
you
that.
could do it today if you want.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Whatever.
do it today. No problem.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay. And then and if you see fit to check and make sure your clients are getting that
I'll push
gas
them.
stuff inspected, just
I'll
for
push 'em
safety
along.
purposes, that would
No
be great too.
problem.
But,
Not
all
a
right, do we
problem.
have any other questions from the board?
Placed on the decision calendar, you'll be notified by mail of court's decision.
Second? All in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Shear, thank you.
Thank you
Have a
very
nice
much.
day. Another round for you?
Next, we have case 55023, Merrick Michael Schumacher. Variance lot area occupied, construct addition attached dwelling, also known as 28 Crocus Avenue. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, members of the board, Madam Chair, Mark Anthony Monastery, architect. My office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue, Belmore, and today I am representing my clients, Mr. and Mrs. Schumacher, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property. Thank you. This morning, we're requesting a single variance to construct a rear addition to their modest-sized home, which would consist of a larger family room, mudroom, and laundry room. This property is existing as a non-conforming plot at only 5,000 square feet in this Residence B zone, where 6,000 is typical. Our only request is to increase the permitted lot coverage from 27.5 to 33.84, a 6.34 increase, or a total of 317 square feet. If this were a 6,000 square foot lot, the lot coverage would only be 28.2, just slightly over the permitted lot coverage. I would love to. That is my case. I can answer any questions if you like.
Do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion? Going once?
I move the hearing be closed, matter placed on the decision calendar. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision once written.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Monastery.
Thank you.
Next, we have
Round
cases
two.
55123 through 55223, Wanta Jessica Maxim. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, construct two-story dwelling with 2 AC units attached thereto, demolish existing dwelling. Use variance to maintain addition to detached garage, also known as 3544 Locust Avenue. We have you sworn in from earlier, just your name and address for the record.
Again, Mark Anthony Monastery, architect. Office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore. And this morning I am representing Mr. and Mrs. Maxim, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property.
Good morning again, Mr. Monastery.
Thank you so much. I would like to submit just 2 photos. These will come into effect in a moment. This is the inside of the garage, just so you can see what the garage is being used for.
Did you take those photos, Mr. Monastery?
I did. So
Do
they're
they
not that
fairly and
great.
accurately portray what is in fact in the garage?
I believe they do, yes.
Thank you. We'll accept those into evidence. Go ahead, Mr. Monastery.
Thank you. The Maxims have owned their ranch-style home for about 7 years and have found it to be too small at only 685 square feet, plus a dilapidated 160 square foot sunroom. And are in need of some major upgrades and some repairs. After long discussions, they have decided to build a new home on the property that would fit their family's needs. This would include building a modest 2,200 square foot, 2-story colonial style home. The footprint of the new home is only slightly larger than the existing footprint, which we are adding 260 square feet and still remaining with a 40-foot setback to the house, and maintain the same side yard setbacks as we are designing a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a full open plan on the
Say that
first
again.
floor.
Side yards stay the same, footprint slightly larger. What was the
The
thing you said?
footprint on the new home will only be slightly larger than the existing. We're adding 260 square feet of footprint. We're still maintaining a 40-foot front yard setback for the house, and we're maintaining the existing same side yard setbacks.
So side and front yards, though the other variances you needed. So lot area occupied is the only thing that really is going to change materially. And
Yes, ma'am.
even that is somewhat de minimis.
I think so, because it's also, we're adding a front porch, which is quite a square footage.
Okay, keep going.
Our first request is to increase the lot coverage from the permitted 27.5 to 30.55, which is just over 3%, or 170 square feet. A second request is to reduce the side yard from the 5 feet required to the 3 feet, to 3 feet. This is an existing side yard setback, which is exactly what it is today. As well, we would like to reduce the aggregate side yard from the required 15 to 11.6 feet, which is a total reduction of 3.4 feet, again, maintaining exactly where it is today.
Right, so you're not really, to use the word reduce it, you mean you want to vary from what's allowable in the code, but you're not changing it. You're not changing what is there today.
Yeah,
Same thing, same
that's
thing.
nicely put, yes.
Thank you.
I would like to add that this is a non-conforming lot again. It's only a 40-foot wide piece of property, and we've designed this house at only 28 feet wide. We're also requesting to reduce the front yard setback for the front porch. Sure. Nope.
You're not in a flood zone, right? You're not in a FEMA
No.
zone? We're just trying to reconcile the height of the structure. The crown's at 20 there?
Hold on
20
one
and
second.
a quarter, roughly.
I should have a pretty good
The grade
cross-section.
and crown are same.
So we're adding to the basement itself.
What's that?
So we're adding height to the basement itself. That's where we're gaining some height, but this is also just a ranch-style house. So my total height from the crown of the road, or top of curb, which is really the same, is gonna be 29 foot 3 inches. So we're gonna have a 8-foot basement. They want a 10-foot first floor, a nice big, in an open plan like that. It's really effective. An 8-foot second floor, and then, of course, whatever they can get upstairs into the attic so they can put the AC units.
And you got a very, you don't have a steep pitch.
I can't.
At first glance, it looks like that must be a height variance, but crown and grade are 20, and you're up at 29. I mean, 49, which is 29.
Yes.
Okay.
Which does tie into part of one of the variances, which I'm hitting up right now, which is for front yard setback. It's not to the house itself. The front yard setback is actually to the front porch, because the porch is elevated further than 3 feet out of the above grade.
Well, okay, Mr. Monastery, one second. The use, explain to me why you need the use, why the garage request is a use and why you need it. Included in, are there still garage doors?
Sure.
Can it still be used as a garage,
Sure.
et cetera? I know we
can
have the
absolutely
photos,
explain
but,
So the garage itself has two, so there's an original garage there, and then a past owner, not my clients, but a past owner, basically built an L-shaped addition around it,
oh, I see.
which was, and that's why I gave you those pictures, so that you could see what's actually stored inside the garage. It's literally household paints and ladders and yard equipment and what you would typically find in a shed.
Can a car still park in that garage?
You would have to clean out a lot of stuff, but yes. But this is where the use becomes. So the original garage, yes, but there's no way to bring a car into the added area, which is really a shed attached to the garage itself. There is a doorway between the two of them, which I took a picture from that direction so you could see into it.
Right there. That shed attached to the garage. Thank you.
I could hear you.
It gets recorded. The shed attached to the garage is separate from the garage. The garage is still going, you can fit a car in the garage.
Yes.
But there's a shed attached to it. So the caption should not necessarily be a use variance, but a shed attached to a garage.
You should work in the building department, because this is a little bit of a discussion that we had with them.
Okay.
But they turned it into
But you're here, and council's just advised me that that would be a more proper way to act on it by the board.
Okay. Do I have to change any of my verbiage?
Not yet, hold on.
Okay.
But we don't want to grant the use variance.
Just so that they have it in case they didn't. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Montesteri.
They got it? Okay, great.
I had to have it explained to me. Okay, Joanne, you good? Any other questions from the board? Oh, that's a good idea. Hold on. Mr. Pellegrini has a good idea. We are going to modify the caption of your request where is it? To reflect the fact, council will put together the modification of the caption, but to reflect the fact that the board has determined that it is that your request for the addition attached to the garage is more properly characterized as an accessory structure attached to the garage and not requiring a use variance, but rather
Even though it does
other
have
relief.
access from the garage.
Other relief.
Good.
Okay?
I would like to add one more thing if I could. I know.
I suppose.
I just want to mention about the 2 AC units that are on the side yard that don't meet the 5-yard setback and instead meet a 4.1-foot setback.
Thank you.
Just in case it was missed.
Okay.
Thank you, that's the end of my case.
With that, do I have any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Montesteri.
Enjoy the...
Will do.
That, both.
Next, we have case 55323, Franklin Square, Juhinder and Sarabjit Singh. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setback on Chestnut Street and Willow Road, construct dwelling, demolish existing dwelling, also known as 799 Chestnut Street.
I hated that because it only takes you a week or two of people coming, look at all these cars.
All right, Todd O'Connell, doing business at 1200 Veterans Highway, Hauppauge, New York. Just introduce yourself. Just name and address.
Yeah, Nurang Singh,
And your address.
117-78, 127 Street, South Houston Park, New York 11420. Nurang Singh, address 117-78, 127 Street, South Houston Park, New York 11420.
Gurjinder Singh, 117-78, 127th Street, South Houston Park, New York 11420.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I represent the Singhs in their application to build a new residence. They're moving from the city into Franklin Square. And it is a fairly large residence, but they are a family of 12. And potentially growing to even more. They have young kids, and God willing, they're hoping to have more children. But currently, they are a family of 12, hence the size of the home that's before you today. This particular home is, it's a one-family home. It is to remain a one-family home. There were discussions to make it into a mother-daughter, but there's really only one kitchen. They like to, interact together because the father, the parents are going to be living with them. But there's no need for a second kitchen, so it's just a one-family home. But it's important to have the space that they need because of the size of the family. The relief we're looking for is as a corner lot. It's a 30-foot front yard setback required. We're proposing 25-foot on the corner property, and both sides, correct. And we're proposing a lot coverage of 30%, where 25% would be required. The reality is we would be able to, push the house back and over a little bit to give more on the front. Yes. 25 is what's permitted, but we're proposing 30. Yes, we're proposing 30. But, you know, with the amount of children here, you know, having some yard space to play is important. So we were asking for some relief with, you know, so we can, you know, maintain some yard space for the children, so they have an area in a home to entertain. No, there is no garage. Yes, I do. It's 11,130 square feet. It's a large parcel. So we feel that because of the size of the parcel, it, you know, can, you know, accept the size of this dwelling. 2 stories. 6,300 square feet, which is inclusive of the open porticos. Yes. Correct. Yes. Well, actually, it's on the first level, the mom and dad, so they could all be on the first level. Oh, okay, there's 4 children currently. Yep, correct. Oh, 2 brothers, yes. Right. I'm sorry, hold on a minute. 12 is what we're hoping to have. I think I mentioned it's a family of 10. With God willing, they want to have more children, so we're planning for a family of 12. Yeah, it's...
My mom and dad, me, my brother, we each have 2 kids, and then in the future we're planning. Oh, okay. There's 2 of your generation plus both. Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we need a large space, correct. 1 kitchen, yeah. I mean, we talked about coming before a mother-daughter, but it just wasn't necessary. So, you know, because we're here today, and yes.
How do you get in the basement?
There's an interior stair. There's no exterior stair.
It says closet.
No, that's a staircase, and under the stair is a closet.
I see, okay. And there's
2 of them.
There's 2
Interior stairs, no exterior stairs.
2 interior stairs to the basement.
That's correct. Basically, the stairs that go up to the 2nd floor, underneath, we have stairs going into the basement. There doesn't need to be 2 stairs to the basement, but it just made sense underneath, you know, you usually stack your stairs.
Not bad in a house that size.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. O'Connell, is that your case, or did your clients need to speak? We don't need them to unless they choose.
Yeah, I think I covered it. We're good.
You guys good? Do I have any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, matter placed on the decision calendar. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Thank you so much.
Second.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a nice day, folks. Sorry you had to wait so long.
That's all right.
Next, we have case 136323, near East Rockaway, Crossroads Access Realty LLC. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setback on Sampson Street West, maintained addition attached to dwelling, also known as 102 West Boulevard.
Thomas DeMonico, I'm an architect, 108 Merrick Road, Limbrook, New York.
Good morning. My name is Braulio Sigua, 24 Prospect Avenue, East Rockaway, New York, 11518.
So we're here seeking variances for lot coverage and front yard to maintain a existing one-story rear addition. This addition was added many years ago. I have Nassau County record.
You said you're here to maintain a front yard, and then you went into rear addition.
Well, it's a corner lot. So there's a very unique piece of property. It's a corner lot. It's on a paper street, never developed, which is the Sampson Street West. My client had purchased this in October of November of 2022. He had purchased this.
Okay.
In 2015, there was a permit to repair flood damage, storm damage. And then in 2017, there was a permit to elevate. During that permit of the elevation, there was inspection conducted. Then apparently it stopped. And did it go into foreclosure?
Yeah, no.
Wait, she can't take you down because she can't hear you. You have to use the microphone.
So yeah, the owner, I think he ran out of money, and then it stopped all the construction. But all the structure was there, and everything, all the structure inspection was done.
Was that permit to elevate the structure the subject of a zoning case previously?
I did not see any zoning information on the elevation of the structure. I actually have copies of two of the plans of the elevation.
Okay, hold on. Give us a second. Number one, we have a search sheet.
No.
Dawn, we're having trouble.
got it.
Oh, we got it.
Sorry.
It's okay, we got it.
I know. There's no application for that, though.
Mr. Bogle.
Long morning? Busy, we're just plowing through it.
Do you know if the house is a legal non-conforming? I'm just wondering,
No, the house was built in 1961 under permit 1961-6050.
so it's not a non-conforming?
And it went for a variance to build that house
Okay, back then.
back then. So in 2017, under 173495, they were granted permission to elevate the existing house and this addition on the back
The addition that's the subject of this case?
of this case. They actually had a permit to elevate the house, and I have copies of the plans here, which I'd like to submit.
And then what happened?
Wait, so they got a permit to elevate the entire structure a portion of which is the subject of this.
Correct.
Without having to come here for.
Correct. And they had inspections conducted along the way.
Well, you know, that's probably around the time that there was a hardcore press to get all the New York Rising money done. There were deadlines, people were going to lose it.
Correct.
So
And
maybe
this-
a few things fell between.
And this is a New York Rising, or was a New York Rising project.
Okay.
So after they ran out of money and my client had purchased this, he continued the work off of the original permit. He actually had framing inspection, strapping inspections, and other inspections. And not until there was a plumbing inspection, I believe, that it was brought up that, wait a minute, there's an issue here. There's something wrong.
Wait, it was brought up? You mean the inspector who came to the premises? And what did the inspector say?
The inspector, Michael Young, said that the back addition, it needs to go to variance, basically. So then we filed for variance, but that was a long time ago. I've been held in this property for almost a year.
But he's a regular inspector, not a plumbing inspector, according to Mr. Pellegrini, who knows all this stuff.
Yeah, Michael Young is the one who went to do the structure inspection, which everything passed. And then once we went for a plumbing inspection, then the plumbing wasn't never done because it said that it needs to go to variance. I'm not sure. I just know that Michael Young is our the inspector for the property, but I'm not sure if it was him or not. But we did follow everything what Vincent Albert told us to do the changes and everything that we did on the plans.
Okay, so the entire addition that you're here for today, that in the exact same footprint is what was on that 2017 permit?
Correct, correct.
And the drawings are the same?
Same drawings, and then we used the same architect who did that to file the maintain. So it's the same, Brian Bear is the architect of record on both the 2017 3, 4, 9, 5, and our current application.
So just real quick housekeeping, you need lot area occupied in front yard on one street or both?
On just Sampson Street, which is a unimproved town road.
And what 25 is required, what do you propose?
It's existing at 1.1 feet.
Whoa,
What was it as a non-conforming?
it wasn't a
Well, it wasn't
non-conforming?
Well, it had a variance at 10.2.
Whoa, so how did they blow it out that far?
2004, Nassau County shows, this is as far back as the Nassau County records go online. They show that in 2004, this addition existed. So somewhere along the line, one of the prior owners put this addition on. My client purchases this with the permit in place, thinking that it's all legal.
And that protrudes, I see. It's one thing that the addition is in line with the house, but there's a large section, 9 feet, that protrudes, and that's what's creating this problem,
That's
right?
what's creating this problem.
And you see the stairs there, new stairs and platform? Do those stairs go down or up?
I don't have the plan in front of me.
Hold on. Is there I assume there's not a basement in this house, but some houses in flood zones do have basements.
Correct. There's no basement in this construction.
And the lot area occupied that you propose,
I believe it's 41, I think we have 41%.
hold on.
The original,
What zone is this in?
it's a C zone, and you're allowed 35%?
Right. This says that, existing is at 36.45? Is that right?
Correct, but that existing includes that one-story frame in the back. So what it was before, this addition in the back is 367 square feet.
Wait,
The original house was 1091.
hold on. The,
Original two-frame house,
right, but in the existing column on lot area occupied, it says 36.45%. Is that what it exists at now?
that is what it exists now, yes. Plus the, that front porch, that raised front porch, that's what brings us up to the 41%.
Okay, hold on. If what you're coming here for is what was already on a prior permit
Correct.
and what was already there,
And nothing has changed
and
since.
nothing has changed, how is existing 36.45 and proposed is 41.02%?
Well, that includes the front porch. The additional square footage is that roofed-over front porch. When this house was originally constructed as a inline ranch, it had that front porch on it also.
But if, wi- I'm
So the
mi-
total-
I'm missing the
Okay.
boat here on how, if all you're coming for now is what is there and what was on that 2017 application or permit,
Correct.
how is the existing different from what's proposed, percentage-wise?
But it's supposed to be, it's the same as what was there. So if we're going to take the existing as the existing house before this addition,
That wouldn't be what would be an existing. Is that what you're saying?
right, so what we have as the existing on the application of 1458
Yeah, let's use percentages if you don't mind.
is the 41%.
Okay, on my site plan, existing is listed as 36.45. Are you telling me
can I-
that that is the amount that is approved existing? Or
Let me just do a quick calculation.
hold on. Because if the thing that I'm here for is that which is actually there, that which was permitted in 2017, then how is it different from proposed?
So the house alone, when it was originally built in 61, was 27.2 or 27.3% without the front porch
In 1961?
in 1961. The roof
Wait,
over,
without porch,
without that front roof over porch,
okay?
which I believe is about 100 square feet, more or less,
Okay,
103.
let's just keep going chronologically so I can understand.
Which that front porch is approximately 2.5%.
So later, the 2.5% is added as a porch, okay? Keep
Right, when they
going.
when they elevated the house, they built the platform for the new staircase,
Is that what you're calling the front
the
porch?
that front entrance
Okay,
porch, right.
So when they elevated the house, or that would be about the 2017 time?
Around that, yes.
That's when they added a 2.5% to lot coverage by adding the front
By
porch?
adding the front porch,
Okay.
correct. And the rear addition of 367 square feet was there at that time also. So the 367 represents 9.2%.
Okay, so what does that get us to, 27.3?
That should bring us up to the 41. I didn't write these down, I'm sorry.
Oh, I did, hold on.
We had 2.5, 9 point.
I can give you the numbers. 2.5, 9.2,
And then the first one.
27.3.
27.3. So that actually comes up to 39%.
So I'm just confused why we have the existing at 36.45 and the requested at 41.02. You know,
we-
obviously, we want to address the actual request here accurately. We
I
don't want to
understand.
approve more or less than what you're requesting if we're inclined to approve it. All right, so,
You know, the numbers, just, the numbers that we had, we took off the original architect's
the
information
numbers in the chart.
on the chart, yes.
So the original architect at that time for the 2017 permit, his records showed the house occupied 36.45% of the lot. See, the question is like, have more things been added since that?
Oh, no, definitely
Well,
not.
maybe not
Things
by
have
you,
been-
but-
Things have been reduced because the property, when he took it over, the fence was actually in the middle of the street, about 8 or 9 feet into Sampson Street. There was a wood platform deck in there also, which was removed. So it may have been even larger. There was,
The fence went into the street?
oh, yes, because it's unimproved. It's a paper street,
Oh, it's a paved street.
paper street.
Oh, paper, well, I meant paper, I don't know why I said. Okay, so
So,
let me just read to you, just so I put it into the record. We received at least one email, I don't know if there's more than this. Yeah, one email on the, you know, we have a
The portal,
comment
right.
on the website. So this, I'm going to just read you the comments. The variances have caused the house to block the view from nearby houses. The house is now unsightly and looks like multi-family house with little yard space. We believe this will affect the neighbors' community, quality, and house values. So I want to put that on the record, allow you to remark as to that, and then we'll go ahead and proceed.
So this addition on the side, which extends 9 feet towards Sampson Street, and Sampson Street as a paper street is completely open. So anyone who, if we're looking at the front of the house, the person to the right is at least 30 feet away. Because if you have a street, which would be a minimum of 30 feet, plus their side yard would probably be at least 40, so that neighbor, you know, would not be affected. Anybody behind here, there's a, obviously there's a house behind here. I'm not looking at a aerial view, but if I could take a look.
Mr. O'Connell? Domenico, I'm sorry. Oh, God.
All right,
I don't understand what the front yard is.
so that is what.
This shows 40 feet. This says 40 feet. Now it says that it's 1'9" here to the first.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a before picture.
Wait, no, because,
Is that just
you know what, that's, from what I understand, this is what was before and is proposed. He's saying this piece was
Okay, I
already
gotcha.
approved in 2017 with a permit and was already there.
I don't believe that. Because then how did he get caught back here? You see this fence? They shared this fence.
Can both of you approach for a moment, please? Okay. let the record reflect that the applicant and his architect approached the bench to review the satellite view of the premises and confirm that the structure shown on the premises is what is there today and is showing the structure as it is proposed to be in the final analysis, including the rear addition that's the subject of this application, in addition to showing where the fence used to be as opposed to where it's now as shown on the site plan, which is what necessitated or at least gave rise to the awareness that the side yard, a front yard, I take it, a front yard variance on Sampson, the paper street was necessary. Okay, so sir, go ahead and tell us whatever else we need to know,
Do you want to add anything?
if anything.
I really want you guys to consider, because I've been holding this property for a year, and I've been trying to move to the place, but I wouldn't be able to move, and I have my 3 girls, and I've been paying a mortgage like for 8 months, no, almost a year now, almost $8,000 for my 2 houses. So please, I need your help. I'm trying to do the right thing.
Okay, a couple things too. I don't know if it's accurate or not, what the comments made submitted in the comment form, but to the extent that the house is in disrepair, that would be an important part of going forward, that the house be kept clean and neat. If you can't afford to paint it, you can't afford to paint it, but if there's trash or rubbish around.
No, yeah, we've been trying to clean, yeah.
So I assume that if this were approved, part of what you intend to do is to get the house in good condition.
Yeah.
Aesthetically. Secondly, we're going to, once we close this case, we're going to have to probably put it on the reserve calendar until you can get us what you know to be accurate lot area occupied numbers as to what's actually there, what you actually propose. We can't really complete the consideration of the matter without having the accurate numbers to consider for everyone's benefit. You don't want us to consider the wrong number and the inspector comes out and you got a whole administrative nightmare trying to correct that, and that's no good for anyone. Let's see, I think Mr. Pellegrini has something to say. No, okay.
Could I submit a photograph of it during construction so you could see how bad it looked like before he took over?
Okay, you can in a moment. Where'd you get the photograph?
This photograph is off the Nassau County website.
Okay, is there happen to be a date on there as to when that was?
No, there
Okay,
isn't.
but it's not what it looks like now, and that's why you're
Correct.
submitting it to us to show the improvements that have been
The
made
improvements that were made.
heretofore? Okay, we'll accept that into
Since.
evidence. Let's see. So we'll hold this on reserve, as I said, until we get that. If you can just get us an accurate assessment of that, and if you can also give us something related to the 1961 variance, whatever, so that we can confirm that the 4.9 side yard on the other side is already legally existing there. Otherwise, that may be something we have to address also in our decision, so that once this is done, we have an accurate file with everything that's there and what's there legally, so you start clean. Okay, so if you
Got
can
it.
do those 2 things, and I guess, are there any other questions then from any of the board members?
I would just like to comment about the neighbor
Okay.
who had written that. So that, I would assume, is the neighbor who's directly adjacent to this property. When you look at that overhead view, the water is to the opposite direction at the end of Sampson Street. So
4.9 foot that's
the person who is behind the front of the house on West, who's opposite West Street,
the neighbor that
is
adjacent to the property,
adjacent to the property
away from Sampson.
on Sampson Street, opposite of West Street. I'm not sure if that's the neighbor who had who had made do we know the address of the person who had?
I don't, but go ahead and tell us what you
So I would assume the only person who would be affected would be that one neighbor that's directly next to this addition on the rear.
Oh, that little place that's snubbed in there?
Right. So their view, my opinion is there's no real view that they're blocking because you're looking down a road at more houses. Any view that they may have of any open water space is in the opposite direction.
Okay, and is there anything else you wish to add?
Well, obviously, this is not a self-created variance. He purchased the property this way. I believe there's no adverse impact on the environment on this application if it was to be granted, or the surrounding neighbors. The benefits sought, he cannot achieve any other way. We're looking at about 100 square foot addition on the side of a house, which is, I would say, is the de minimis area that we're looking at. I think any cost to modify this would be substantial for my client. And I don't think the lot area variance that we're seeking, even if it is up to 41% where 35 is permitted, is not substantial.
In one sense, what is left to do to bring the house, make it, pretty much habitable?
Just the plumbing and insulation inspection. Everything else is done.
Plumbing, insulation,
Inspection.
close up the interior wall.
Yeah,
And other, then it would be
yeah,
reasonably move-in condition.
yeah, moving condition.
How long do you think that will take?
My contractor said a month. Yeah, and, just,
Is the exterior all closed in?
exterior is all finished. It's,
You're drying?
yeah.
Is that it?
Can I ask him a question? If we had to modify this and take that area off, if that was a decision that was made by the board, how much time and extra money do you think that would cost you?
I don't know, I'll have to talk to my contractor, but I'm guessing we're gonna have to get a demolition team in there to do other demolition, probably another 100, 150K. Just to do the demolition and to finish up the siding.
One thing I just glanced at the photograph of the prior condition that we submitted, and I don't see that L shape
So
sticking out.
it's a steel frame. This construction is lifted with a small area of a garage that is the concrete. Then it's a complete steel frame, and the construction was, I don't know what happened during the construction, but it was re-erected on top of that steel frame.
But I don't see the protruding section.
Right, that section, I noticed that also, but the permit that was submitted, was approved in 2017, shows that being a steel frame. This was most likely a slab-on grade. So a lot of times what happens in those type of situations, they cannot elevate any slab-on grades. It's very difficult. A lot of times it might be rot, and I can't tell you what happened at that time, but I would assume that it was not in good shape, and when they lifted it, it probably, just fell apart.
So you're saying it was there, they got a permit to lift it, when they lifted it, fell off, so they rebuilt it?
Probably.
Do you have any of the papers from that prior permit?
Oh, I can get them. There's 111 files in the town.
Can you provide us also, when you provide us with the accurate numbers, copy of that permit and the drawings that went with that?
Absolutely.
Included a plot plan.
Whatever they have on
Yeah.
file, I'll print.
All right,
Okay.
that's great, all right. I think we've
That's-
covered everything. Do I have any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. We're going to pend it until you submit that additional information.
And then we'll do our best to decide it quickly if you need those materials.
Thank you.
I know winter's coming. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Have a nice day, folks. All right, so, wait, what are we getting here? Mr. Vogel, did you write down what we're getting? So we need the plot, we're holding this in reserve for the plot. Okay, no, I'm not going to because I have to put the case on. What's the case number? All right, and I don't. All right, Stephanie, just a quick note as it relates to case 549 of 2023. Earlier, Mr. Scheer was here on that matter and was asked to provide us with a signed copy of the site plan that was used in that hearing to verify that it is in fact still accurate because some time has lapsed. He has done so and it is and was accurate. Go ahead, Mr. Owen.
Next, we have case 33523, near Valley Stream. Raquel Shapiro, maintain accessory structure basketball hoop higher than permitted and not permitted in the front yard on Cliffside Avenue, southwest corner of Allen Place and Cliffside Avenue, also known as 576 Allen Place. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Just take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
Andrew Braum, B-R-A-U-M, 1924 Belmore Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. Good morning, Ms. Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Andrew Braum. I'm an engineer, and I'm representing Mr. and Mrs. Shapiro at 576 Ellen Place in Valley Stream. The homeowners are here represented by me to seek your approval to install a basketball hoop, which is considered an accessory structure. They're located on the corner of Cliffside Avenue and Ellen Place. And as you can see from the site plan, they'd like to put a basketball court on the, what they think and call the side of their house, which is technically a front yard on the corner. An accessory structure is not permitted there. It's also higher than the approved height, which is 9 foot at a total height of 12 foot 10. The homeowners have previously done work with permits, and they also have an approved permit to install a swimming pool on the other side of the house, which they have not done yet. And essentially, we're seeking your approval to install the basketball hoop in the position shown on the plan. It is. So what happens is the house is on Ellen, and they have a secondary front yard on Cliffside Avenue, and the opposite side of the house, which would be the west side, is it looks like it's a big school of some sort. A school, like it's a yard of on the west side. It is, it says County of Nassau on the radius map. They do, yes. They did not get any letters. We asked them to actually get letters. They did say they talked to the neighbors. They're friendly with the neighbors. The husband is a basketball, not player, but a basketball hobby. And he says a lot of the neighbors come and play. Oftentimes he plays on Ellen Place, but wants to have it on his own property.
Usually, but it's not like the hoop itself, where, the little structure of
Yeah.
whatever it is. By the way, is this to be permanent? in the
It's a
ground?
permanent, yeah,
It's not one you can move,
correct.
but rather it ends up being, why are they bouncing the basketballs at 7 in the morning stuff? But,
Understood.
I mean, 12 foot, 11 inches, you said, in height,
Correct.
and that is the only relief you need, is that, and
Yeah, that's a regulation basketball, yeah.
Would there be lighting? Are they gonna install?
They may have some lighting on the side of the house there. If the board wants to put a restriction as to time, I'm sure the homeowners would understand that.
Well, at the very least, what we would usually do is require that the lighting, be shielded such that if
Not to leave the
it can go
property.
on the court, but it's not shining in like the Maccabee's house.
Understood, yeah.
You have an open permit for a in-ground pool.
Correct. They have not started the pool yet, because I believe they want to use the same contractor to do the pool and the basketball court. They do have an open permit that I secured for them.
Oh, okay,
No work has commenced on the pool.
got it. Thank you.
Well,
I have no further questions.
Okay, then do I have any other questions from the board or a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case be placed on the board's decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, all parties who've signed in today will be notified by mail.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Stephanie, are you okay? We have one more case? Okay. I mean, it's two cases together, but yeah.
This is like Saturday down the street. You have to decide
Where we go?
See, look. That's a school, isn't it? It says North Woodmere Basketball Court, Tennis Court. This isn't a school, this is a park. Oh, here. Thanks.
Tell Patrick.
Okay. Next, we have case 30723, near East Rockaway, MSJ Homes LLC. Variances, lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, side yards aggregate, rear yard, construct 3-story dwelling with garage, formerly known as 9 James Street.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. It's Michael Lynch, 15 Dewey Street, Huntington, New York. I'm here presenting the case. I'm also a state certified real estate appraiser. As you know, I've appeared many times before the board in the past. So we were here back on July 26th, and we presented the first of our cases that was approved on the corner of 8th and James Street in East Rockaway for MSJ Homes. We started then on our second case, our second MSJ case at 9 James Street, which is this case, and so this is a continuation. I had submitted back on the 26th a number of documents, photographs, chain of title, showing that the property was a pre-existing non-conforming prior to 1930. I also submitted copy of the old assessment card showing that there was an existing residence on the property. I also submitted some other nearby variances that were granted by this board. So,
Would you like to consolidate all of these cases and have all of the materials from the prior testimony, materials you've just referenced, and the rest of the materials in those files?
That'd be great.
Consolidated and
Yeah.
made one with this case?
That'd be great.
Okay.
So, the architect who's sitting to my right, Justin Burtick, I don't know if he wants to.
Justin Bertu, 25 South Service Road, Jericho, New York, 11753. I'm the project manager at Emilio Sousa Architect, just for the record.
Thank you. Might as well have your client enter his appearance too as well. Go ahead and let it, yeah.
And this is the applicant.
Let him put his name and address on the record.
My name is Sovinder Lamba. I'm representing the properties, 43 CLM Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801.
Did you get that, Stephanie? I couldn't get it.
Call Mike.
Can you, louder and slower?
Yeah, my name is Mike Lamba. I live at 43 CLM Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801.
So,
Hold on for just a second.
we revised in the application.
Can you hold for 1 second? Because I won't. Mr. Pellegrini wants to.
Sure.
He's doing something. No.
Joe?
I wanted you to have, no, I want you to have time to clarify whatever you want to clarify.
Thank you. I'm clarified.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just so we're all together. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, great.
Answer to my question.
So, you got the wrong file out on this. We're 9 James. So to continue, back on the 26th in July, we had presented the case for this pre-existing non-conforming lot, but we were presenting 3-foot side yards for both sides on James Street, and we've revised the plans to now reflect conforming 5-foot side yards, but we do require a variance for aggregate side. The house was shrunken as a result, so we've gone from a former 4-bedroom, it was going to be a FEMA-compliant colonial that's typical in the area of the rebuilds. So we've reduced the bedrooms down to 3 bedrooms now.
And this is new construction?
This is new construction. So we had presented an 8-room, 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath FEMA-compliant, 3-story structure with a 1-car built-in garage. And to conform now with the side yards of 5 feet, we had to shrink the size of the house. So we're down, the house came down in overall building coverage down 125 feet. We're now showing a lot area coverage of 37.76%. It was 43.31%. Again, we're now showing 5-foot side yards.
What was that coverage you just?
It was, the original proposal was for 43.31% coverage. We're now down to 37.76, because again, we've reduced the size of the house. We're down to 3 bedrooms now. It's a 7-room, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath. Yep. Yeah, number 9, James.
question?
Probably a week ago, a little less than a week ago. I emailed them. I have a set of both of them. No. Yeah, I sent them. We emailed you.
Robert Gold. That's this gentleman?
That's what I sent you.
So that's him, right? He's the attorney? Yeah. Did you just give him a copy of this now, or they're reading?
No, I have this. These are the ones we emailed.
I don't know.
Yeah, 9723 is just
Yeah. And in the process, the house shrank.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Lynch, just had a little recap of what had transpired previously because, so much time in between.
Yeah, sure.
But
So originally, we were...
Well, Mr. Pellegrini raises an important issue. Obviously, the board rule, that stuff has to be on file for 30 days. Okay, that we can sometimes have a little flexibility in, but what we can't have flexibility in is the plans being reviewed by the building department to ensure that we know what variances are required. While you may know and probably are correct as an architect and as a real estate person, you guys, I'm sure, know your business. But we have to have the rejections by the building department, whether that's even if it's fewer variances we have, when you change the structure, it does need to get reviewed by the building department. And so taken together, it's our judgment that we should adjourn it right now. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but we need those plans to get to the building department, the plans and the site plan to get to the building department and get reviewed, however quickly you can do that, and we'll put it on to actually put this thing to bed. But we need, and then we need the new set on file. We're gonna do 30 days since we have to adjourn it anyway, so that we make sure that we don't have anyone who, comes in last minute and tells us we have to start again because the plans weren't on file for 30 days as required. So I think what we're gonna do is give you a date. You have the new plans done though, right? You could take them to the building department today? Yes. Okay, so I assume you want the soonest date possible that allows this 30 days to happen, and you can get them to the place today?
Yes.
So we can give you the soonest date that we have available that's at least 30 days away, and then you'll need to get, I would suggest you don't only get them to the building department today, you gotta get them to us today too, so they're on file, okay? So let's do that, and it's a site plan and the plans, I assume everything else has stayed the same, right? Okay, so Patrick, let's do that.
October 18th at 11 o'clock?
Okay, that gives them at least 30 days?
That would give them 30 days.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do that with both cases, unless did you give us the materials for the same stuff is needed for the second case, right? So unless you tell me that those aren't changing, we're gonna do them both, right?
Yeah,
So we're gonna
number
adjourn
9 and
both.
14.
Okay, that you don't need to send out any more notices. Obviously, there's no one here in opposition or in favor except the three of you, so no further notice will be required. He doesn't have to sign for that, yeah. That would be subdivision. So we'll put it on for the 18th. What time, Patrick?
11 o'clock.
At 11, oh, you're lucky, you get it at 11 o'clock. I don't think so. Why would we renotice? No, because we're doing it as an adjournment. Right. So wait, 11 o'clock on October 18th, okay? Hopefully on that date, we can get this thing done, okay, folks? All right. Hey, I know you guys just want to keep
It's
coming
all
down here
right.
to see us.
Figured we'd,
And
in and
I'm
out,
sorry
you
you had to
know.
wait the whole time for that.
yeah, because it's,
Madam Chair, we have to call the second case as well.
Oh, okay, I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay. The next case is 30823 near East Rockaway, PST Fine Homes LLC. Variances, lot area, front width from an on-street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct three-story dwelling with garage, formerly known as 14 James Street. Madam Chair, we're going to adjourn this matter to October 18th at 11 a.m.
At least you got 11 a.m., so you don't have to show up until 11.
nice.
Yeah, that's,
Appreciate it.
all right, guys, have a good day.
All right,
Sorry you
thank
had
you,
to wait
Madam
so long.
Chair. Good afternoon.